looking back at this team, you returned 5 team members going into the 2013-14 season, added freshman Sandy Choi and Yu Lu. The team was coming off finishing second at the 2013 NCAA Championships, and that was in Athens, Georgia. Preseason ranked number 3 and 4 in kind of a couple different national rankings. What do y'all remember going into the season? How much did you learn from the 2013 championship and disappointment not coming out on top? What do people remember, going into it? Did you think it could be special? How did everybody get along? What were kind of some of your thoughts? And I'll just kind of open it up to the group here.
2013 national championship was not so exciting just because USC was so ahead of us, and we were so ahead of the third place finisher. I don't even remember who it was, but I remember it wasn't even close to being like in contention. So I think it was just not exciting. And at the same time, it was also kind of like frustrating to the fact that we were so far behind USC. Like we didn't even have the chance in the last day to be like, okay, we play really well, maybe we can catch them. It was just like kind of like it's all said, kind of go out and play because we're still going to be in second and USC is still going to be in first. And I think that just, well, at least for me, it was kind of like motivating to the fact that it's like, okay, we could probably work hard and then the next year, at least be in contention and try to not be so far behind the first place team. So, that's what I remember from that championship, how it was just like not that exciting.
Yeah, I think we still like finishing second, you still know that you're good enough. It wasn't the week for us or that week. So yeah, exciting. It wasn't exciting because the difference between first and second was big, but we knew that, that year they won, but we could have won also. We just needed to play a little better. So heading to the, 2014, we knew that if we have a good year or decent year, we had a chance to win, like USC.
In the fall, team played 4th in the Dale McNamara Fall Preview, 3rd in Mason Rudolph, and then won the Tar Heel Invitational, and closed the fall with a 2nd place finish at the Landfall Tradition. Finished the fall season ranked number 3. What do y'all remember about the fall season? We had Aleja and Leticia were the 2 seniors. What do y'all remember about the fall and what you learned kind of going into the spring?
Yeah, I think that the team was getting along well. Like it was kind of like a switch from previous years, or like what I felt was that it was kind of like a different environment in the team. Like it was just different, and I think that also helped us to kind of like move together in the same direction. And it was just like really cool. I really I love all of you guys, but it was like a really cool team. And I felt that we could all come together as a team, and it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think from my freshman year to my sophomore year, even though we only, had 2 seniors my freshman year, and then for 2013 we had 2 more freshmen. It was only 2 players difference, but I felt like the team was completely different. Like just and like the atmosphere and everything, the chemistry was completely different. Like everyone was getting along. So I just felt like, and everyone was motivated to play well, not only individually but also as a team. So it was just really fun to be a part of that.
What about E? What do you think? What was your feeling about the team and how it was getting along, and what was your thought?
I just remember it got like pretty competitive in the team in a good way, and I thought we were getting really along really well, and we played like okay and pretty well like in the fall, and I thought like going into the spring we will do well, and I I don't really remember much detail, but I still remember that the good vibe that came out of the group. So yeah, basically that's it.
What about you, Irene? What were your thoughts?
This was my favorite team out of all 4 years, to be completely honest. So I just remember whether we were practicing, qualifying, playing, traveling, or just getting dinner together, this was my favorite team. Everybody was working hard, everybody was doing their best, everybody was having fun. It was a nice environment to be in that year.
Coach Brooks, why don't you kind of give a little thoughts on this team, especially after the fall season, your thoughts, and, Jeannie, if you want to add anything too as well.
Well, I remember in the fall, you were talking about the fall, that Yulu could really put the food away. I mean, she could really eat. Unbelievable. And I also remember that she loved to swing her driver.
I still do.
Nothing changed.
So I've got this player on my team who is staying down. I didn't even know you could hit a driver from the Myers building at night and see it. He found out because she's down there every night, well after dark, and then she would catch a cab, call a cab, and ride a cab back to campus. So between, that was the fall season. But kidding aside, I thought we were a better team this 13-14 year than the year before, even though we had finished second. And like Leticia said, I mean, any week could be your week. But we were a better team, and I could tell that already by the fall. And I saw that level of work, whenever you got a player that comes in and works like you, Lou. So I saw great promise for this team. And it was great. We pulled it off, and we got to win where Duke had already won once before. So that was fun. And we did it in great style. I mean, that tournament, I don't know if you want to get into the tournament yet, but I mean, that, I got to be really careful because there's been a few of these, but that was amazing what we did on that golf course, the way we turned it around, and the final 9 holes of that tournament. And absolutely almost equal contribution from everybody on the team through the tournament. The numbers, and then everybody, I think we had, like, I saw a note that we had 4 people in the 60s the last day. And that back 9 was just so cool. It was great to sort of rally everybody. Jeannie and I were trying to, it was the only time, we're kind of traditionally, we don't do much on the golf course. But boy, we did that. We did that last day, right, Jeannie? I mean, we were making all kinds of noise. We got all the other.
I remember us getting pretty loud.
We got all the other. We got Kevin White and everybody making noise. So, I mean, I have no idea if it had any effect, but all I know is that we were so into it that we tried to help any way we could.
In the spring, had a very successful spring, then went to the NCAA Championship, went back to Tulsa, where Dan, of course, had won his first national title in '99. At the tournament, opened up in 3rd place after day 1. 2, moved into 2nd place, trailed Oklahoma by 3 strokes. Shot 2 under par, 278 in 3rd round, moved into the lead by 6 strokes ahead of Southern Cal. Celine first individually. And then Southern Cal shot 2 under in the final round and took the lead by as many as 4 on the back 9. On that back 9, Duke was 6 under par the final 9 holes, grabbed a 3-stroke lead with 2 holes remaining, and held on and won the title. what do y'all remember about that championship, that final day? Do you remember everyone getting loud, trying to cheer you on and trying to, get you energized, for that stretch to pull it out? What do y'all remember?
The last day I was so nervous, and I remember telling Jeannie, I was like, I don't even know how to play. Like, I don't know how I'm going to go out there and play well because I am really nervous. Like, I really want this. And she was like, just, keep doing what you're doing. You know how to do this. Like, you've been doing it for like your entire life. Like, this is what you know how to do best. And I remember on the first hole, I made like a 10-footer for par or something like that. And that just kind of like gave me the confidence to kind of like, okay, I can do this. And from then on, it's like, I remember I had 9 pars in the front 9. I was playing with Sophia Popov, who was like playing really well that day. And she was like 4 under through the front 9 or something like that. And I remember when I stepped on the 12th tee, there was a leaderboard. And at that moment, when I stepped on that tee, they were switching the names. So like Duke was ahead and USC was second. And I was on the tee, they were switching it. So USC was starting to be ahead of us. And I remember seeing that and feeling like, I don't know if it was like anger or something, but I was like, this is not happening. Like, I'm not going to let this happen. And from then on, it was just, I don't know, something happened, something clicked. And it was just like birdie, birdie, birdie. And I remember just like the energy that we felt in that back 9. It was so crazy. And I remember on 16, I had this really long downhill, right to left breaking putt, and I made it for birdie. And Sophia made her putt for eagle. And I was like, it was just like kind of trying to stay on top of Sophia because she was playing really well. And then on 17, I pulled it. My shot that I was coming with from a week before, I pulled it, and it was like I short-sighted myself, and I was able to get the par. And I remember everybody being so loud on that green, like when I made that putt. And then I was just like, wow, yay. And when I went to 18, I was the first one to finish, and I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I wanted to go out on the course and see everybody else. I didn't know if I had to wait. I didn't even know what to do. I remember Leticia finished, and we were so nervous. Leticia went out to putt because she thought we were going to go on a sudden death play. It was just so like unreal to me. It was unreal. I didn't know if it was going to happen. I was so nervous. I was nervous to look at the scoreboard because it was so close all the time. It was like USC, Duke, USC, Duke, the whole back 9. And just the energy that I felt in that back 9 was just like so amazing. I remember it. Yeah.
That you're up and down on 17 was really good. I didn't see it. I was somewhere else, but I've had it described many times.
Was it par 3?
It was the par 3. So the pin was on the left, and I pulled it, and it was kind of like, I had to hit like a little flop shot kind of almost, and I had like a 6-footer for par. And I remember reading like looking at it, and I was like, I don't know where this is going to break. I have no idea. I looked at it from every single angle. I was like, I don't see it. I don't even know. I'm just gonna hit it right in the middle of the cup and hope it goes in. And it did. And I'm just really happy it did, because that was really stressful.
Celine, what do you remember that back 9, that last round?
Well, my memory is not as good as Aleja's, so I don't remember every shot, every hole of that course. I can barely remember 18.
By the way, let me just throw this in there. We've done 3 of these. This is the 3rd one. And they're don't feel bad, because there is a lot of lack of memory. It's amazing how, especially the golf part. People, I think you guys have played so many holes of golf that it probably, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember, but then Aleja kind of made me feel really bad because she knew every single shot. So I don't know. I don't remember exactly the back 9, but I remember that it was super tight all day between Duke and UNC, and then I'm not really a leaderboard watcher, so I wasn't really keeping track. I knew that all I could do was just try to manage my game, and that was already a lot. So I just tried to focus on myself, and then just try to make the least shots possible. And then I just remember that when I saw the leaderboard on 17, we were leading by 1 or 2 or something like that. So then I knew that if I just kept making, par or something that's not a catastrophe, I think we would have won. So I was just, trying to hit it on the fairway. And then I hit my second shot on the green, and then I kind of knew that it was gonna be fine. At that point, I was 1 shot behind Doris Chen for the individual title. So I did try to make my first putt, but then when it didn't get in, I kind of knew that even though I didn't win individually, we had won as a team. So it was just awesome to be able to, share that on the green. I just remember after I finished 18, everyone kind of ran on the green, and then we were just like celebrating together. And then next thing I know, we were, dancing to Will Ferrell's song, the Happy Song. And that's something I'll always remember because it was just so special to be able to share that. And we were like so happy. I mean, that song was perfect. And it was a really, really good time.
Well, let me tell you, I can tell you that Celine was all about the team because on the 16th hole, I happened to be next to her when she was teeing off. And she came over to me on the 16th tee and asked me how the team stood. And then she switched clubs. Remember, you could either hit a driver or a 3-wood on that hole. And so she was asking me all about the team, and then she switched. I think he switched to a 3-wood. I think he had a driver and went to a 3-wood. You don't remember?
No, I don't remember. But I have to say, if I had to pick between the team championship or the individual championship, I would have picked the team one anyway. So
well, that's what you were asking about.
Yeah.
You were definitely asking me about that.
Well, what about Sandy or you? Y'all were freshmen on that team, and your first NCAAs. What do you remember about that tournament?
Well, going into nationals, I kind of just treated it as any other tournament that we played in, so I don't remember being more nervous or anything heading into the event. And then what I remember from the final day is I wasn't playing very well the front 9. I think I was 3 over. And as I was making the turn, I somehow knew that we weren't leading. I knew that USC was leading by a couple strokes. And so as a freshman, and because I didn't have the previous year where we finished second place, I was kind of just like, well, if we win, and then if we lose. And then on number 10, I made a really long putt for birdie, I think. And then on 11, I remember coach coming to me to the middle of the fairway, and he was motivating me that we still have a lot of golf left. And normally, I would see coach in the trees or far ahead, a couple of yards ahead, but this was the very first time where he came over and was giving me this pep talk. And after that, I think I just went on a roll and something just clicked and made a lot of birdies. And I think I finished either even par or 1 under. And I remember on 17, I was walking down the par 3 and I saw the leaderboard, and I didn't want to look because I had a feeling that USC was going to be up top, and I didn't want to be down on myself on the final 2 holes. But then I looked, and I saw Duke was won by a couple strokes. And I don't know, when I saw that, I did get really nervous, and I was like, is this really going to happen? There's still a lot of players behind me, but I was really excited. And then 18, I saw Aleja, I think it was Aleja, and then our fans. I think I saw Leticia, I don't know. And after that, it was just, we were just waiting for everyone else to finish. It was a good experience. I mean, it was my favorite memory at Duke. And as a freshman, to win, to be part of a team that won the national championship really means a lot. And with an amazing team like this. A refreshing a lot of me just sitting and being nervous and not being able to do anything. And then, yeah, I just remember I was sitting on the couch watching, and my sister had just had her baby. And so there was a lot going on, but I was like, I can't focus on anything. No one talked to me. I have to watch. And then when we won, I just started texting everyone, and it was very exciting to watch. That's all I remember.
I think I was in China, so I couldn't watch it on live, but I was checking the website, kept refreshing it, and then but because of the time difference, it's kind of, I don't know, I couldn't like follow it very closely, but the first thing I do waking up is checking the score, and then I was like, shoot, we won. And so so yeah, it was a very, very special moment to me, although like I couldn't be very close, and I wasn't even in the States, but being like far away, I was still really, really happy for the team, and I was super honored to be part of this championship team.
What about you? It was your only year at Duke, and you won a national championship. Pretty easy stuff, right?
I know. So just coming to that week, I just had a really good feeling. I feel like, from seeing the lineup, I feel like we really have a chance to win. So I was very nervous, and the last day, I remember I didn't play well. I didn't contribute. I think I was the only one that the score didn't get counted last day. So, but I just felt like I was looking at the leaderboard very closely, and then I saw my teammates, like all the girls were doing so well. So I really believed in everyone. I felt like I could really count on everyone and then I remember when I finished, and then Tease was being so serious, and then she went to the putting ring and to warm up and stuff. And then I was just sitting there and then just yelling and like cheering everybody on. And then I remember the last hole, Celine didn't make the putt, but then we all went on, and then I was trying to pour water on her with my water bottle, and then she looked at me like, "What are you doing?" Because I think Doris won by a stroke, but we won as a team eventually, so we were just all really happy. And then I do remember the happy song, the ceremony.
Yeah,
we couldn't get Leticia to dance.
I know.
she was sitting on the ice box.
Yeah, it was just, the vibes were amazing. Like, it's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, for sure.
Jeannie, what do you remember about that tournament, that team? I mean, especially reconnecting with all of you, it seemed like this group had one of the more special bonds that I've seen out of some of the teams. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I think that I noticed that there was a big chemistry shift even from the fall. And I do remember even telling Dan how much this team was laughing and just enjoying each other's company. I could tell they wanted to play, work hard for each other, not just for themselves. And going into the championship, I remember very well that we had a really good practice round.
Well, I mean, looking back, when we have a lot of you are still playing professionally. You're seeing each other out on the different tours. How has that Duke bond been? I mean, since you've left Duke, and I know it's great to have all of you together now, but seeing each other out on the tours and just staying in touch with you from the reunions and all that. How much does your experience at Duke really, when you look back now, how much does that mean to you? How much did it help you to be where you are today and so on?
it's a little weird, I think, now because we're not we're not a team anymore. So when we play with each other again, the tournaments, we, at the end of the day, we're friendly and we're good friends, but we play against each other. On the team, I was going to add to what Ginny said, is that year, everyone had the same goal. The other years, we had very different personalities. People were just like checking their clock to see that they just did enough. That year, we wanted all of us to get better, and because we were better friends, we were able to tell each other in our faces when you were not practicing. And that year, we also, I think it's the only year that we vocalized to coach how we think the team could get better. So that combination of the same goal and being friends and willing to work hard made this team.
I mean, you go from being like with 6 other players all the time, every day, just practicing together, playing together, competing together, everything, and then even having dinners and whatever together, to being by yourself all the time, like traveling by yourself and like managing practice rounds and everything, how to get better, how to practice, and everything by yourself. Even just competing just by yourself all the time is very lonely, and it's very different. It's definitely one of the biggest shifts I had to do from being amateur to being professional. Is just managing yourself. But I do feel like it's nice to have some teammates out there also on tour and being able to see them. You've shared something very special with them for a couple of years. So now just like seeing them on tour, even though we're not on the same team, we kind of are, because we have shared something pretty special. And I still feel like my Duke teammates on tour are some of the closest friends I have, and I'm always excited to see them out there. So I think it's still pretty special, even though it's a very different life. But I feel like it's just something that's gonna be special forever, I think.
There's nothing like college golf for golfers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than obviously Celine, you played on Solheim Cups, like Aleja, like you all played, represented your countries, and hopefully you still get a chance to do that, like whether it's the Olympics or future Solheim Cup. But really, there is nothing like college golf, because even if you play for your country or your continent or whatever, you just get together right before the tournament. It's not like you spend all year, you don't spend your whole lives together.
Yeah, and even though it's, like you said, it's only 1 week that the teammates like outside of college come together. But even though you're together as a team, it's still very individual. Like you can tell that even though you're there as a team, everyone kind of does whatever they want on their own schedule. And then you'll maybe have like one tea time that you have to get to, or like something that you have to get to. But when you're in college, I think it's very different, because you're literally all the time together. And then you have more of that team atmosphere, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the bond that we created as a team when we were at Duke really carries over to life after Duke, because like Leticia said, it's like we were more than teammates, we were all friends. So I think that also really carries over to when we see each other out, whether it's on tour or just like life in general. Like I see Jeannie, it's just it really carries over, and you still feel that bond and that friendship that really lasts farther than just like we graduate and that's it, like the team is done. It's more like the friendships really last no matter what. So I think it's really cool.
I remember
really,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add, it's something people don't understand in golf and other individual sports. If you're a college basketball player or football player and you move on to professional, it's like you're still playing for a team. Like it's something that people don't understand when you're an athlete. It's not like the same as other sports, like team sports.
Yeah, I remember my senior year at Duke, Celine came to visit me for a couple days, and I was deciding whether I wanted to turn pro or not. And I had asked her about Q school and things like that, and she was like, like I think you can do it. Like just give it a try. And so I think that really motivated me to give it a try. And then got my Symetra tour card, and I remember texting Selena and Yulu because they've been on Symetra the previous year about host families and how, like, where we play and traveling and all that, because when you're a professional golfer, you have to plan out everything in college. Coach and everyone just does it for you, and you just go hop on a plane and ride in coach's van and free dinners. But then when you're alone, it's like, okay, you have to plan everything and schedule everything on your own. And then even out on Symetra, my first year, I remember seeing Aleja. And then last year, I actually traveled with Tees for a couple tournaments. And we played a couple of practice rounds together, and she still yells at me for not trying my hardest and not working out enough, and like nothing changed. She did that freshman year, probably first or second week freshman year. So it's always great to know that I have my teammates out on tour to help me, and also Coach. Like I keep in touch with Coach, and I tell him about my tour life and everything else, and it's fun that he gives me good advice always, even when he's busy with the current team. So it's nice to have my Duke family with me always.
I caddied for Tees last May last year, and that was interesting.
How did that work for you?
It was so strange. It was so strange because I've only been on the player side, so to be on the caddy side, you're much more nervous because you have no control over what's happening. Tees would just hit so many great shots, and she'd be like, "Oh, it was so bad," and I was like, "It's literally next to the hole. It's fine." But yeah, it was fun being out there, even though I wasn't playing. It was fun to like experience a tournament again, because I haven't done that in so long. So that was a lot of fun. But I will say, even though I don't play anymore, and I will say being on the golf team at Duke is probably like my proudest accomplishment on my resume. My employers always ask me about it. They're like, "Were you on the golf team?" And I was like, "Yes, indeed. It is my proudest accomplishment on that resume. I have it like bolded." And they always ask me about it. I think being a student athlete has contributed so much to me even getting a job, because it tells so much about the person, like your ability to be with a group of different people from all over the world, to be able to manage your time, except my time management has gotten worse, but it's fine. But yeah, I always talk about it. My employers always ask me about it. It's one of the proudest things I have. I love telling people that I was part of the team. Yeah, even if I don't play, it's still has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, just to echo that, even in China, my manager, or like my boss, when we go out like for meetings, he would introduce me as like she was on the 2014 NCAA golf championship team, and then like all the time, like every single time, and then people will be like, "Oh wow," and yeah, the meeting will, like if they like playing golf, the meeting will probably go well. So
Yeah.
it's always good, and I would say it's probably my like a very valuable memory to me, and I was super proud of being part of the team. And it's always good to have a family like this, although like we don't get to see each other all the time, and it's probably the first time after graduation that I see everybody, but still it feels very, very nice, and feel like we've never gotten apart. So yeah.
Well, I know from my standpoint too, seeing you all grow, especially you, Leticia, from your freshman year to senior year, and just for media interviews, everything else, how much you've grown, and now being a professional as well. It's been great to see every one of you. Every one of you have been so successful, and we're very proud of you. Each and every one of you won the 2014 NCAA Championship. That's something nobody will ever take away from you. You always had that special part in Duke's memory and NCAA golf. And we're each and every one of you are very proud of what you're doing now on the course, everything. And you're representing Duke very well, and we appreciate you joining us today for this call. For those that are not still playing, we're so proud of what you're doing off the course, and you're being very successful. And then those that are still playing as well, we wish you the best of luck. But when you can get back on the course, and Celine, you and your club championship tomorrow, and everything else that y'all are doing.
Go Celine. Awesome.
We just wish everyone the best of luck, and please always remember that Durham, Duke is your home. Always have a place to come back to whenever you need it, and please don't be a stranger at all, because we always want to keep in touch and have you back and see everybody.